That.
yeah. But yeah, basically it's just an album for you to get up and get, like, think, oh, isn't it so wonderful that there's somebody out there, or maybe a few people, or like, humans are so beautiful, and like their minds are so interesting that you can just kind of, like, the ability to fall in love. Like, how sick is that? That's pretty cool.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So it's kind of sappy, but then when you think about it, I don't want it to be like la 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 la, I love you. It's more the case of like, I'm going to kill myself, but I didn't, and it's great that I'm alive. Like, that's the vibe. Like, because I was at a point in at a point where I was like going to my therapist saying I don't want to wake up tomorrow. And she was saying like, well, why? And I was like, well, because what is there for me? Is this it? Like, is it just this? And for a long while, that was the truth. That was it. It was just miserable. But then slowly, slowly, you come to unpick your own thoughts, because obviously, um, yeah, I'm, I'm insane, and I've got mental problems, but I'm not like, I, I'm forever grateful that I'm here, and I don't think that will ever change ultimately.
Well, we're
Um,
grateful too. Trust me. I think I can
yeah,
speak
I
for
mean,
everybody else in the chat too on that one, but
yeah.
I definitely think
So
we're all very grateful.
in case I've got you all depressed, listen to my music.
Nah, you're good. Don't worry.
Definitely. I think that everybody's been through stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like in their own way, obviously, but everybody's been through those points and stuff. So I think when you're listening to music that you can resonate with, it's just that bit more special to
Yeah,
you, isn't it?
I mean, that's the point. I only make the music that I want to hear, and I only make the music that I want to talk about. I mean, I'm like on the opening track. I mean, it's. I played around with the idea. I tried to do this before, back when I was quite in a really bad situation. Because I have about 10 hours of therapy recorded, because I wanted to have it just in case I needed it. Um, and then, there's loads of like introspective experimental artists that use things like that as found sound, and as using sound design. So I made this song where the intro is literally a conversation between me and my therapist, and it worked. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. This is going to be an interesting song and an interesting experiment. But after a while, I was like, you know what? The world doesn't need to hear this. The world doesn't need to hear like me complaining about everything. And quite frankly, it's too raw. It's not nice. Nobody wants to hear somebody genuinely break down and talk about the worst possible situations. But so I decided instead to make one a bit more optimistic, and uh, with retrospect, and that's why at the beginning of 25, it's more of it's more of like a mantra, like it's me reminding myself of, yeah, okay, well, it's like I think about dying a lot. I do. I think about death all the time,
Yeah.
right? But that used to be a source of like the biggest fear in my life, but now it's just kind of a constant that I'm okay with. Um, and and I name drop in that song throughout the whole thing. I talk about my sister, and my mum and my dad and my ex, and well, actually, but my ex only gets like, well, my ex gets all of the bloody songs, doesn't he? But but as in he's named in it, but he's not like explicitly mentioned anything specific. But I mentioned, like, how I've fallen out with two of my best friends, or ex best friends, and how we don't speak anymore, but how two of my older friends have just been there for me whenever I needed. And talking to those people after the fact, when they were like, look, Cardi, we're really proud of you. And having them say like, yeah, I had a little bit of a cry when I heard 25. That makes me feel seen. If like I mean, like, knowing that Andrew and Alistair, they're two of the three people I named, Andrew, Tom, and Alistair. Tom's having Tom's moving. Tom's dealing with shit. But Andrew and Alistair, like to hear them when I saw them most recently talk about like, you know, Alistair gave me a hug and was like, yeah, no, shed a tear at that, and that's really important to me. The fact that I have such a strong. Oh my god, a fox!
Is it an adult fox or a baby fox?
Adult, but it's so bold. There's so many people around. Anyway, um, like yeah, like knowing that love that is there between me and my pals, it's just so nice. Like knowing that I've got people that truly will ride or die. Like
Definitely.
it's
I
good.
think you learn that as you sort of like go through these bad parts in your life. You know, you get the bad parts and then you see who's really there for you afterwards.
Yeah,
Um,
and
but
they were, because they were going through their own stuff as well, but they were there, and I could have been there for a lot more people. I could have been a better person, but they even accept that I wasn't. Do you know what I mean? How fantastic!
everyone's got to have a good group of friends, haven't they?
Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant.
So was Androgenize your first project that you released?
As Cardamon, yes. No, 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 it's not. Oh my god, shut up! It's like this car's next to me is radio blaring. Shut up. Anyway, um, uh, so previously when I had my old artist project, which you can probably find if you search for it, but I would recommend you don't do that. Well, I scrubbed off socials, like I scrubbed it from Spotify and everything, not social streamers, but it's more the case of like uh, like if you wanted to have a look at it for, like I think my cousin tried to tease me at one point, being like, "Oh, I found your song on Bandcamp," and I was like, "I don't care, man. Like do what you want." But uh, anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so that stuff you could probably find it if you really wanted to, but you'd also have to know my my legal name, which I'd prefer you didn't, because I don't use it anymore. Um, but of Cardamo, when I became Cardamo, or when I started the project Cardamo, the first thing I put out was a remix of my bestie's music, Alice Mills. Shout out Alice, love you, bitch. Alice released an EP called Medusa, and the track named after the EP, Medusa, was just awesome. And we studied together at uni, and we both have a similar opinion about like art and music and sound and stuff. So it made sense to me that this one piece, which for me summarized a lot of how beautiful experimental art can be and how talented she is. She's a absolutely stunning writer. Um, being able to like hear that, and this had been about a year or so after her last release, so it was really nice. I remember me and a couple mates went round to her house, and it dropped at midnight, and we were all like woo, and it was just lovely. And I remember hearing Medusa and thinking, um, uh, yeah, I was like, Alice, let me remix that, and she goes, yeah, all right. And then a couple weeks later, I'd done a super weird, hard Brazilian techno remix, whatever you want to call it, um, with some like Italian lyrics in the chorus that was kind of like a witch's hex, and it was just really cool. Um, and that was what I wanted to cement myself as. Because the reason I put it out first is because one, so that I can make sure all of the streaming services can get everything right. Because sometimes when you make a new, well, you wouldn't know, when you make a new artist profile on streaming services, sometimes they get things wrong, and that doesn't happen with famous people because they're famous and they get things right. But um, when you're an independent, sometimes they don't really care, so they just go, oh yeah, input text, whatever, blah 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 blah. So it was just to make sure that everything lined up, everything was good, blah blah blah. And it did. and it was good, and I liked it. And that one, I think I mastered myself, which was kind of wild because that's not something I do. I'm not a mastering engineer. Fucking hate mastering. Anyway, but uh, yeah, and that was great. And then Androgenize. That came out maybe a year afterwards or something. No. It was June and then August, isn't it? Yeah, June-ish, and then August 26th or 23rd.
Yeah, definitely not long before Playing with Fire came out, wasn't it? Love So Shy came out.
Oh no, sorry, no. Androgenize was August 26th of last year, and
Okay,
then A Love So Shy. That was my birthday, October 10th.
there you go. Now everyone knows your birthday as well.
It's easy to remember. It's 10/10.
That's a good deal. And then obviously too, like it's got to be really interesting for you to just hear like your own music, have people downloading your music, listening to your music. I feel like that's just got to be almost surreal to know that like, hey, I worked on this and
Yeah,
20 people are downloading it or whatever. Yeah, that's a really nice feeling, like, I would think.
it
Um,
feels like success. I mean, it
oh, I'm
feels
sure.
like I'm finally getting to the place that I wanted to be when I was young. I mean, I remember being like 16 and properly setting out to do this. I was 16 when I decided I wanted to start production and take music really seriously.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and and obviously I was just at school, um, I wasn't like oh, I'm going to quit school and do this and that and the other. It was more the case of like, okay, well, I've got a plan. Me and my dad decided that I wanted to go to this specific university, study this specific course because that would give me the best foot up in learning how to do X, Y, Z, and then I could maybe do it myself rather than having to pay for a producer, songwriter, arranger, blah blah blah. So that I was basically the plan was to make me self-sufficient in music, well, in whatever I wanted to do. It just happened to
Right.
be music. The other thing that I really like is languages, but didn't do it. Um, yeah. So from that point until now, it's almost been 10 years. Um, and if I think about it, it's phenomenal. I think I've been so good to myself in that sense. Like I've given myself a hard time, but I've also like worked on stuff. I've done well. I followed my gut. I did things the way I thought I should do them, and I've never really been that wrong. Not in the sense of I'm always right, but it's in terms of my gut decisions. I've always moved roughly in the right direction, and if not, then I've made a way out of it that's benefited me or given me a lesson to learn. I try not to regret things in that sense. I've made mistakes, but in music, I think I've been all right. Um, Even
I
the
mean, I
bad
think I
things have turned
think
out
we
to
can
be
all agree
somewhat
to
good.
that.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I know too, like it's just been really interesting. I know you said you started off with violin and like the
Yeah.
classical side of music, and now your style is obviously very different. I would say not even close to classical in a lot of regards. You really expanded, kind of picked up your own style, your own way of doing things. Was that something like did you just kind of do it, or did you decide like consciously like I don't want to do classical, I want to do something different, or is it just kind of a sound that just
Um,
developed over the years?
so I decided when I was about 16 that I'd pretty much had enough of classical. I started learning jazz saxophone and I wanted to get into jazz, really liked it, started listening to a lot more like neo soul, and funk and R&B and stuff like that. At the point of which I was obviously learning how to produce, so naturally my brain went, oh, let me try and produce something like that. Didn't work. I tried desperately for about 3 or 4 years to try and get good at R&B production. It just did not work. Um, I could do it now, I'd be all right now. But as a beginner, what I classify myself as was a beginner, right? It was too high a step. I wasn't ready yet. Um, and I doubted myself and I compared myself to those around me and I felt like awful, so bad. I was like, why am I not making music that's as good as this person, this person, this person. And I truly at one point thought, wow, have I wasted my time? Have I wasted it? Am I not actually that good? And I went through this period of like just kind of trying to get through my degree. And I was like, okay. And then COVID happened and it was weird. So I started exercising a lot and I kind of became like addicted to exercise, which isn't really good. But through that, the way that I'd motivate myself to keep going, because I used to exercise like 4 hours a day. It was really bad. Anyway, but I say bad as in like it was obsessive. It was, you know. Anyway, but I would listen to really, really dark, hard, electronic and ambient experimental music, some noise music, some really grotty, grimy crap, and I love it. I love it so much. It's like my favorite type of music is angry music because it makes me feel so. It's so interesting to conjure up like the heel or the villain in your brain, and you know to see their side of things. But yeah, so I liked it, and then I remember like mid sit up or something, I was like, oh, I wish I could make music like that. And then I went, wait a minute, I've never tried. And then I finished my exercising, whatever I was doing that day. I went downstairs and I started making an absurdist album, which was basically, I'm gonna have fun and piss about on my computer, make silly sounds that sound kind of cool, and then if it kind of works out, I'll release a body of work with silly lyrics. And it didn't come to fruition, but I made about 4 songs, and they was really funny. I showed them to like some of my colleagues the other day, and he was like, "You need to release this. It's so funny." And I was like,
I would
"No,
love to hear it.
I
no,
say, yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
never to be heard again." And that was the basis of me really getting into experimental production and sample-based production and manipulation of sound and all of this cool, wacky stuff. And soon after that, was it soon after that? It was Absurdist album, and that's when I started making the album. Yeah, I made I made oh, I wish that was still out there. I should definitely release that stuff. I started producing or reproducing my favorite songs. As in like a song would come out that I like, and then I would try and recreate it from scratch in a day. And I did that a couple times. I did that with Toxic by Ashniko. And then I recorded a little video, and Ashniko saw it and gave me a little comment, and I went, "Oh my god!"
That's what we do when you guys see our comments and videos. We're like, oh my god.
Emma and I have had a lot of
then,
conversations like that.
yeah. And then I did Lil Nas X when Montero came out. The Call Me by Your Name, that one. Because obviously he did so good with the marketing. I was obsessed with that song before it even came out. So then when it did, I was like, I need to produce this immediately, and I did, and it was really cool. And I did a really sick rap verse of my own in it, and I uploaded it to YouTube, and people were like, "Yo, this is sick!" And then I was like, "Cool." And then I know why I deleted it because I was still using my old name. And from that, I kind of learned how to make things sound hard and gritty and whatever. And at that point, I was making my album. First track that I made was Yakuza. Remember that? And I remember finishing it and being like, "Oh my god, I've really got something here."
That must be a really cool moment though, to just sit there and be like, I've that moment when you're like, I've got something.
Oh, that happens often now. As in, like that feeling is like, because I equate that feeling to like, it's not like, because for then what I didn't realize is that was the first time, that was the first real time. But for me, it happens whenever I'm happy with a song, right, or with an idea for a song, because I get the best feeling when I'm making something, and the idea comes into my head before the song exists. I'm like, right, I know what I'm doing. Let's do it. Let's go. And it happened to me the other day, kind of. I was like playing around with 2 splice loops, and I was just like, oh, this is gonna be dirty. And then as soon as I put like literally just a kick and a clap on it, I was like, yeah, sorted. Um,
Awesome. So if you weren't doing music though,
yeah,
what do you think? I know you said you quite like languages. Do you
yeah,
think you would have gone down that route as a profession?
absolutely. Yeah, if I know exactly what I'd be doing, I'd be an interpreter or a translator.
That's
That'd be cool.
cool.
Yeah,
And
because
so,
languages are like a huge part of my life. I love them. Um, I learned French for a long while in school. I'd also used to work in Paris occasionally, so I used to go over there and have some fun speaking to people. And then, like in primary school, they took us over to Paris. And basically, when I was young, I just had an affinity. Is that
That's a
the
word.
you're
word?
asking the wrong person here. I have no idea of
Ah,
words.
No, you're
I
not.
had,
It's
I had,
good. It is. It
ah, there
is.
you go. I had an affinity for French for whatever reason. I just kind of got it. So I like, I'd had like maybe 4 or 5 like proper lessons, but then we all went to Paris and the kids were all like talking to me because I was the only one that could communicate with them. And I don't know why. Do you know what's funny? I was guessing what the words were and they were getting it. Like
That's
literally,
That's awesome.
awesome.
I was trying to, I remember specifically trying to say that this is my friend Ali Jan, he's from Turkey. And I went, um, il est, il est là, origine Turkey. And then they went, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And and the teacher went, where did you learn how to do past tense? And I was like, what do you mean? And you said like, oh, he originated, il a originé de Turquie. And I was like, oh, I didn't know, I just guessed. But
That's amazing.
uh,
Cool.
but yeah, so French I loved, and then I'm half Italian, half Cypriot. Dad didn't really teach me Italian. It was more my teachers. I did Italian after school, and then going to see family and talking to my other family in Italian kind of picked it up, and it's gotten better over time. And now it's gotten worse because I haven't used it much. Greek. I had a Greek tutor. I went to Greek school when I was a kid. Um, I'm a proper Sharluthkia. Well, one of them. Um, we have a word, Shalua. It's like a Cypriot word. It means like little Charlie, and it's specifically about Cypriots that live in Britain, that barely speak Greek. And that's basically what I am. Because I can't really speak Greek, but I can understand it. Um, and everybody I speak Greek to says I've got a weird accent. Oh no, this is the funny thing. Everybody that I speak Greek to says I've got an Italian accent, and everybody I speak Italian to says I've got a Greek accent. Which is just false. It's just not true. What they mean to say is you sound like an idiot. But then Spanish I kind of picked up accidentally from Italian. I can't speak it, but I can pretty much hold a conversation. Um, well, as in I can't like speak it fluently, but I can pretty much hold down a conversation and get where I need to get. And same thing with like not I can't speak Catalan, but I know enough of Italian and Spanish and French to muddle my way through Catalan. Um, German, I studied for a year. Japanese, studied for about 6 months, loved it. Then went to Japan and loved being able to surprise people with the one sentence that I could probably muster, which was "Kasa o arimasu ka?" Can I have an umbrella? Um, and oh yeah, and then uh, Japanese is the best, right? Because you literally all you have to do is say the thing you mean in a Japanese accent, and they'll get it. Literally, I think this was naughty. I was like just turned 18. My dad didn't know I smoked. I went out of the hotel and I went down to this thing. In Japan, um, you need to be 21 to buy a cigarette, I think, to buy cigarettes. But because I'm white, they didn't know how to gauge what my age was at all. So they
Yeah.
thought I was like 30, right? But I walked into the shop and I went, この cigarettes, いくらですか? Like how much? いくらですか is like how much is it? And he goes, it was this old dude. So he puts his glasses on and he goes, oh, 1000 yen. And I'm like, cool. Like he didn't question anything. He was just like, yeah, give me 1,000 yen. Cool.
That's awesome. I'm going to
It
ask
was
you
funny.
little bit about production stuff and stuff like that now, and like
Yeah, yeah.
producing and stuff like that. So do you have like a typical genre? Like, 'cause obviously you produce your own stuff, but obviously you do work for other people and stuff. Do you have like a specific genre, or do you just do whatever gets given to you?
I do whatever gets given to me, but when it comes to my own music, I generally say that I'm like the term that is like cute and like easy to coin is gender and genre fluid. Like,
Oh, I like that.
you know, because it's like, oh, haha, I'm non-binary, but then also like, well, yeah, I also don't stick to the idea of a genre at all because I kind of just make whatever I want. Like, mm, yeah, I'll leak that. I'm working on a hard style project at the moment, which is like crazy. That's hard style is literally just like it's literally just like smashing kicks. Techno music's brilliant.
That's awesome.
Um,
So I know, like, too, I was in the studio. You do producing, you do singing. You know, you cover all of the bases, obviously. Do you kind of have a preference? Like, do you like to produce a little more? Do you think you like being more the vocals, or do you just love all of it?
All of it. Um, in the industry nowadays, it kind of bleeds in. A lot of the jobs bleed into one another. Obviously,
I'm
not
sure.
singer because that's specific, but like we talk about a lot uh, phases of creating music. So you've got like conception, songwriting, arrangement, production, mixing, mastering. Um, they're not. There's not like a solid rule on that. They're just statements of like some kind of like there's some parts of this of the process. I grew up not knowing that, or I learned how to make music not understanding the idea of there being different types of process. So for me, it was make music,
mm,
right? Um, that has pros and cons. Obviously, it meant that for a long while I was just kind of doing what I thought was right, and I wasn't learning much. However, it did make me incredibly versatile. Um, and yeah, so now I don't really. I do try and make sure that I'm mentally separating those tasks so that I keep, so that I'm not doing them all at once and creating a problem for myself in terms of remembering what I've done. But in that same sense, I don't really have one process that's my favorite. Um, my favorite thing is when the song's done,
So it's gotta
because then
be cool to hear the
I'm
final
like,
product, though.
yeah, well, well, actually, funnily enough, the final product is usually always worse than the build up for me because there's those moments of where you can hear things that aren't there. So when the thing is already there, you're kind of like mentally burnt out. But it's the idea that okay, it's like, well, I'm not going to equate it to childbirth, but like it's like, you know, the baby's here. Oh, the work's done. Not the work's done, but like the we've got through it. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Because making music is like it's really funny. People just think you can just make music and it's really easy. It's just not. It's not easy. Because I'll tell you what, if you think it's easy, make a song, and I guarantee you, if you never made a song before, it's shit. Everybody's first songs are shit. That's the whole point.
Do you ever have to like produce a song that you like from for other people that you're just not really
Yeah,
liking? Do you know, like you're just like, yeah.
the time. Oh my god.
At least you're
No,
honest.
well, actually, that's all the time. Nah, not all the time. I'm quite good at picking who I want to work with. I like specifically this client that I'm working with at the moment. Uh, we get on really well. I like the project. I like his style. I like his songwriting. I love his voice. I love everything about him. Really, he's great. So that's like, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because what I said to him is like, look, I don't usually produce for other people because of the fact, as in like full production,
Mm.
because usually it's a bit much for me because I have my own way of thinking about things, and I've had some bad interactions with people. Like there was this one artist that, yeah, whatever. There was this one artist that I was in touch with, and we were talking, and I quoted him on something, as in I quoted him for the production fee, and then I brought him over. We had a songwriting session. We had a session, and it was just there was nothing there. Like I remember I made this awesome, awesome instrumental kind of like drop thing, and to this day I've kept it on my computer because it's so good, and whoever I show it to is like, "Whoa, this is sick." Um, and he went, "No, I'm not really feeling it," and I was like, "Okay." Like, at first I was like, "Okay, whatever," because like, yeah, fair enough, you're not feeling it. But then now I look back and I'm thinking, like, you idiot! That's you could have had that. Like, I'm kind of glad because like now I've got it and I can do what I want with it. Anyway, but
Talking
the point
about
being is
you,
that, huh?
I was going to say, what do you have like coming up next, music wise?
Uh,
Yeah, you can tell us.
Yeah, tell us everything.
um, so 2 projects in 2025. I'm not dropping the names, but 2 projects. One is a mixtape and one is an EP. I've told you that the EP is the hardstyle EP.
Mhm.
The mixtape is exactly what a mixtape is. It's just going to be like 8 or 9 or whatever singles that are compiled together in a mixtape. I already have the concept, the vision. One of the songs is done already. Might be doing a music video if I can afford it. Um, like basically I've put the plans together for a music video, and like I know exactly what I would do. Themes there, everything's there. It's really good. But it's just a matter of whether I can afford the production.
So go to Bandcamp and buy his
Yeah.
work, people.
Yes. So everybody,
Yeah.
everybody on the chat needs to go buy it. That'll help.
Um, yeah. What else? Yeah, that's it. And the mixtape itself is going to be a collaborative one, as in it's going to be singles that are all like Cardamon with blank.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
exciting.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get JC on one. Oh,
Yes.
We'll encourage that. It's fine.
that
We'll
that
shameless plug it for you.
won't happen.
Yeah.
I promise you that won't happen. If that does
Manifest.
happen, that'd be
Never
sick.
know. Just manifest it.
Somehow. Nah, JC, I don't know. I don't know what his. Oh, mind you, he's probably not on a record label. Well, he's not, is he?
No,
No,
he's not.
he's not.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
independent, so he can do what he wants.
Mhm.
There you go.
Um,
You got a plan.
yeah, but yeah. So that's the plan for next year, and then either late 2025 or from late 2025 to mid 2026, late 2026. In that year period, that's going to be second album.
It'll be
Because I basically
awesome.
I work with projects in like I work with project titles and concepts first. So I have the titles of my next EP, my next mixtape, my next album, the album after that. Like I've got it all, titles and track names. I just need to make the thing.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah,
Well, obviously,
yeah.
we're gonna be looking forward to it. We'll be buying it as soon as it hits, I'm sure. Um, Obviously we've talked about you a lot now, but we have to do one more game just to torment you just a little bit.
Let go.
So this one is gonna be all on Emma. It's gonna be another little quick fire thing that we have sort of unofficially dubbed the Cardi Bible. So go ahead, Emma. It's all you.
So I'm going to explain Cardi Bible. There was like an NSYNC book with all of their facts when they were younger, and so it's
Yeah,
like and we called it the NSYNC Bible. So it's just a complete nod to that, not a religious thing. Just
that would be if you like researched me, that would be so funny.
we haven't.
I was gonna say you wouldn't be able to find anything.
So I'm just going to ask you some questions really quick. Just answer. So 3 items you can't live without.
Uh,
I'm
My
struggling that
Begleri,
phrase.
which is a Cypriot hand fidget toy. Um, uh, my U87, which is my sexy microphone. And uh, my Crunchyroll subscription.
Yes. Do you know what? My son has a Crunchyroll subscription. It cost me quite a bit to keep it
So good.
going.
It's only £4.
Oh, his is like 12.99 or something like that. Yeah,
Okay,
To do a
I
business deal later.
think you're getting scammed.
probably. I mean, he set it up through his PlayStation and his laptop, so probably. God knows what I'm actually paying for. What is your favourite food? It's a hard one, isn't it?
Hate this question. Um, Probably macarone del forno, which is like Greek lasagna.
Ooh,
It's
that
not
sounds-
Greek lasagna. It sounds so horrible. Um, no, it's like pasta bake, but with cheesy bechamel sauce and with pork. It's really good. It's the best thing ever.
that sounds
Awesome.
good.
Favourite colour?
Favorite color is teal. It is like I'm trying to think of exactly what color it is. It's I can see it, but I don't know how to describe it. I guess it's teal. Like if you think about like aqua blue and then give it a little bit of green,
Awesome.
Oh, sorry.
it
I'm gonna
describes color.
just gonna put that as the colour of your background for every single Cardi post that we do from now on.
Done.
Yeah.
Like a musical influence that still influences you today.
Dorian Electra.
I'm gonna Google that later.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they're the artists that I met today.
Oh,
Oh, okay, cool.
As in,
that's cool.
not for the first time, but I met
That's
them
where you
for
were. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Favorite NSYNC song?
That's a face.
We had to put some in there.
It's it's kind of a man.
Yes.
Good choice.
It's,
A
it's
bad habit that you have.
I bite my nails. I bite my nails all the time. So
Me
bad.
too. Terrible.
That and I kick puppies. No.
Beverage of choice.
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke is substantially better than normal Coke.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unnecessary calories. So Diet Coke is just zero, isn't it?
Favorite musical, but you're not allowed to say Playing with Fire.
um, so Sweeney Todd, yeah.
I love Sweeney
Good
Todd.
one.
Sweeney Todd is so good.
So good. Yeah, there's a part of one of the songs that you do, and it's literally blanking because I'm trying to think of it. Nothing where you're like, no, I'm not gonna hurt, or nothing's gonna hurt you, and it just takes me to Sweeney Todd every time. Yeah,
Yeah. It feels like,
every
doesn't it?
single time. I love it. Okay, and then, do you play instruments? And if you do, what's your favorite one to play?
Yeah. I play violin, saxophone, viola. I could get a little bit out of a piano and a ukulele. Shit at guitar. I can kind of play bass guitar. My favorite one is the viola because it is like the violin but better.
And last one, tell us something we don't know about you.
Uh, I'm a convicted murderer. No, I'm. Uh, uh, my address. I just give my national insurance number. What do you guys not know about me? I've
I feel like
got
we're
webbed
learning a lot.
toes. I've got webbed toes.
That's something that, yeah, that's definitely counts. um,
That's
so
not a
we,
joke. I have got webbed toes.
A lot of people
I
do.
believe. um, so we know that you're going to be doing the meetup soon. So, do you want to tell us about your meetup?
There's literally nothing about it. Like, I'm just gonna be there. I just felt like it would be nice because a couple of you were like, "Yeah, I want to get the thing signed." There's
It's
literally
peer
We'll
no
tell you right
reason.
now.
Like, huh?
There are people sending their CDs from like around the world for you.
mate.
So
Yeah.
if you want to know what
Lol.
type of impact you have, there are numerous people that are sending their CDs because they want your signature. So if you
I'm gonna
ever
get
wonder,
I'm gonna get RSI from signing things.
No.
ask
Lol.
JC and Jimmy how they survived. I feel like, they can give you some tips.
You know
Yeah.
what? This is a cool one because I've never signed anything before, so I have to create the signature.
Okay, but then
You
I have to
do.
be the first signature. Like, I'm just saying,
Can
I'm gonna be
I
there
get
with
to
my
be second?
CD.
I'm second then.
You have
Thanks. Mine's on its way.
you have to race. But
She
yeah,
has
no, I
mine.
think I know what I'm gonna do. I think I know what I'm gonna do, but yeah, yeah.
So that'll be
And
really
it's gonna be similar to what's on my finger because that's
Oh,
my old
cool.
initials.
that's cool.
So, did you pick Leicester Square for a reason, or is it just like that'll do? Like, I don't
Uh,
know.
it's a pretty central place in London, and I love
Yeah.
Leicester Square. I'm there's a restaurant called Bun House in Wardour Street, or not in Ward, yeah, it's in Wardour Street. That I used to know I used to know pretty much all the workers there because I used to go there so often. And they've all bloody moved. They've all gone to a different place. So now I don't go back there because I don't really care about the new people.
Sense. Well, obviously, if you come in and everything, we're hoping that maybe at some point you'll come to America too. I know my CD, Emma's taking
I'll
my
come.
CD for me, but it would
I'll
still
come
be
to
amazing to have you
America.
here. Yes, we would love that, obviously. I think I would probably, I mean, I know you're going to be signing mine anyways because Emma has mine, but it would still be cool to get to do something in person, of course.
Yeah, I mean, look,
So
the
we
only thing stopping
would
me is
love
if
it.
I'm.
I know. We had that discussion that we know you got a little extra paperwork to do, but it'd be worth it. We're cool, I promise. Emma, I know, in case people didn't know, is collecting CDs. Emma, I don't know if you want to kind
Yeah.
of go over the
So,
timing and everything. That's you.
peer pressured into it, but I'm fine. I am collecting CDs, and you can send them over to me. All the rules and stuff are in the chat. So if you want to join in, if you want to get your CD signed by Cardi, you can message Posse Page. We'll join you to the chat, and then you can read through the rules and stuff. And if you want to do it, do it. As long as it gets here by the 10th of January, I'll take it with me and get it back to you guys.
Where's it? And then I know we already had a couple questions from fans and stuff. If people, because I know we're running a little low on time,
Yeah.
if people have questions, send them to the Posse page. We will bombard Cardi with more questions at the meetup. Hopefully, maybe some future chats and stuff as well, because I know we had a lot of fun. Obviously, if anybody just has any questions, any comments, anything they want to tell us, let us know. Cardi, if you want to do a quick plug for your Bandcamp, I know we both have it, but if there's anybody who wants to go and get your music, I've listened to it. It's awesome. I highly recommend it for anybody.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I don't know if you want to tell them like the link or anything like that.
yeah, so basically bandcamp.com/cardamo.mp3 should be what it is. Or if you can't find it by that, just typing in Cardamo Bandcamp will work.
Yeah, we'll make a post in that too. You can put that on the page.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find. But in general, yeah, give me. I've got a website, by the way, cardamo.uk. If you want to have a look at that, it's got some more art and stuff on it. And Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Deezer, anywhere you can find music, you can find Cardamo. And I would recommend listening to all of my music consecutively 4 times a day.
Or more.
There you go. It's like medicine, multiple doses a day.
Yeah.
Well, we will let you go.
Every 4 hours.
We've obviously had a blast. But I will say, on behalf of the Posse page, yeah, everybody in the chat, all your fans, because trust me, you have a ton. This was a blast to do. And hopefully we could do some more. We would love to talk to you some more, of course.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
thank you.
sorry for being such a rambly idiot.
No, we love it. I think
We
we
love
just
it.
got some of the best stories. I
Yeah.
will have so much fun watching this playback because some of those stories might become some gold on the page a little later. But definitely, anybody else who has questions and everything, of course, just send them to us in a DM on the Posse page, and we'll make another list and we'll do another round where we'll try to torment Cardi with more questions in the
Yeah.
future.
I'm going to come and
Hell
say hi
yeah.
to you in January, and I will see you at the meetup.
Yeah, have a good Crimbus. Have a good
Yes, you
You
holiday.
too.
too. Yeah.
Happy Hollybobs. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you for
Awesome.
joining us.
Anytime.
No
Thanks,
worries.
Scotty.
All right. Bye bye.